So very good evening for all persons here. Thanks for the opportunity for the entire team of World Innovation and Tech Summit team and our strategic partner and global influencer Mr. Abraham Paul Barakancheri, and it's Iman pleasure and also Emmanuel especially, who's continuously following up with me for this event. So first of all, about the net aeromobility, we are developing flying car. Basically, the new terminology word which is called hybrid eVTOL. So we are developing Asia's first hybrid flying car, and let's look overview of urban air mobility in Asia by 2030. How this industry is, going to be scalability, and what is the research basically behind this visual. So there we are coming up with our product Asia's first hybrid flying car. So there are companies working in Asia region. All people are working on pure electric eVTOL. We are a little bit advanced from them, working on a hybrid electric eVTOL, and which gives us, a more range, basically the flying range. That's very important for any flying object, right? So that's how we chose, hybrid flying cars. It's about when you're talking about automobile technology, now the electric vehicles, electric cars, or electric two-wheeler and four-wheeler is emerging across the globe, and it's currently a trend. That's what is happening now, right? But when it comes to aviation, still a lot many, so many works has to be done in terms of sustainable aviation. So initially it has to be a hybrid, then it's going to be a pure electric when the battery technology is much mature than what we are expecting. So our vision is to be a more safe and sustainable fast commuting, thus reducing hours into emissions through advanced air mobility, which is 4x faster than cars, 1.5x faster than flights, and straight away 62% of carbon reduction. So building advanced aeromobility, which is the next level of transportation commuting experience. Believe me, gentlemen, today the way we are living in, we are actually entering into a digital world. Whatever we have seen in the past, the going forward in the future, it's going to be a totally different than what we are living at present now. So about our few glimpses about our product, which is sustainable aviation fuel plus electricity. So that is what we call it as a hybrid combination, which is a fuel plus sustainable aviation fuel. In aviation terminology, we call it as a SAF plus electricity, mixture of both fuel combination which we took. And the range is 350 kilometer per hour. That's the range which you can achieve, you know. In fact, Mumbai to Pune, people stays in India, Mumbai to Pune, they can, fly within an hour's time. That was the power of this eVTOL. And the maximum takeoff rate, since it's the first product which we have designed and we are coming up with. So it's basically a two-seater if it's a passenger. And if it is a cargo, straight away, 250 kgs which can, carry from one place to one place. And recently, our Indian Civil Aviation Minister Yogesh unveiled our concept model, and soon we are going for a flight test, and subsequently we are going to launch our MVP. So this is basically a multi-modal air mobility what we have designed. The best use case like the same product which we will design for ambulance, cargo, and other rescue operations as well. So when you look this, as I told you before, we are actually entering into a UAM age. Like how there is a various different ages in the past, like Stone Age, Iron Age, Bronze Age. Now we are actually entering into urban air mobility age. The new mobility. That's the need for R now. See, when you look, the entire world is entering into a digital, digital world, especially the whole world, in our hand, like a smartphone. We are the current generation, who are seeing this live transition last 20 years, how the cell phones, transition from the smartphones now, and also the internet, like starts from 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. That is how the transition is happening. It's not only the smartphone or electronics. It's every field. Even the medical and even the currency, cryptocurrency, digital. Everything, every field we are entering into digital. But then the mobility remains still as a mobility, even if it is a two-wheeler or four-wheeler, right? So that is a big question. What could be the future of mobility in the digital world? It's going to be a completely autonomy. Yes, it's going to be a flying cars. So that's how we are here. We are actually entering into a UAM stage. So why UAM, urban air mobility, basically? Technology is causing disruption in all aspects of life. That is, demand for transportation increases. It's important to consider using a different modes of transportation. So the picture says it all. The traffic jam. You can see there was a research about, a leading research consulting firm. Morgan Stanley was saying, on an average, a person spending 50 hours only in a traffic jam, sitting idle in a car. Imagine it's almost more than two days. And due to which, 20 to 30% fuel wastage only on the traffic jam alone. It's not about a time consuming 2 days we are sitting in a car, or 20 to 30% fuel wastage, money is, we are just spending on it. It's also about a carbon emission. If this continues, we will able to produce 1.5 gigation of carbon emission by 2050. It's very huge. Huh? Imagine. So if we address these all points properly, we can even save a 3.11 trillion worth of fuel by 2050. So market research by Asia specific manufacturer and configuration. If you see, we are the only person working in this industry. No, there are many companies working in this industry, and it's emerging very fast. And if you see Australia 1.7 OEMs by country wise in the chart, Australia there is 1.7%, Japan 2.14%, South Korea 2.1%, India 1.24%, and China 8.5%, UAE 0.84%, Indonesia 1.7%. And OEM by configuration, there is a technically, if you see, there are eVTOL or different types of configuration people are trying and exploring bringing the product. So 4 point out of all, 4.25% are working on multi-copter strategy, and 6.38% working on, basically lift plus cruise, and 6.37% working on vector thrust. So we also do a market research with various leading through a very leading research organization. So these are the general questions which is thrown to the general public users basically. So how much time would you be willing to spend to get a UAM vertiport or terminal as part of yourself? That's the first question which I've thrown. So there are almost, people say 31 percentage of, 30% people are saying 31 less than 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes they want to reach. Another 53% people are saying, 10 to 30 minutes they can able to accept. And there are other people 30 to 60 minutes, 12%, and more than 1 hour, like similar, like current our commercial aircraft, how we reach airport, checking, boarding, all the security check has to be done, maybe 1 2 hours time will sucks, right? So that people will use only 4% current situation, because today the world is very fast paced world which we are moving in. So people wants to, everything has to be quick and fast. So another question which I have thrown to the people, what kind of safety future which urban air mobility has to be there. I think what happened? Yeah. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So what kind of safety features criteria based on urban air mobility? So people said safety is considered as a 4.6% and specs and range all 4.0% of rating, and travel efficiency and cost is coming in a second, which is a 4.2. So environment impact and the specs, comfort, capacity, range, this all comes in last. So the first important aspect is safety. Comes to second is cost and travel efficiency, and third is environment impact, specs, range, comfort, all those things. So obviously, higher safety standards requires higher cost and lower efficiency. With this in mind, what level of safety as a UAM that would be acceptable to you? That's a question which you have thrown. And the ground transportation level, people are asking only 3.5%, which is similar to our car casualties which is happening. And the general aviation level is highest rating is 34.3%. And the commercial aviation level, which is zero tolerance, people are expecting 62.2%. That's some major change. That's how this research says what kind of UAM people are expecting. So these all questions which we ask in the research before we get into actual our product development aspects. So AAM is nothing else. It's advanced air mobility, or UAM people also call urban air mobility. So from the initial phase to commercial operations in Asia, so these are the key areas. It can be use case basically. Emergency medical services, and public service, which is fire fighting, search and rescue, law enforcement, and recreational flying, hobby flying, and airport shuttle or short distance, point to point travel with city, commuting from suburb to city center, which is a medium distance, that can be utilized use case. And another use case is regional air mobility, which is a long distance, basically. So if you see UAM use case by 2030, and city taxi, people will use only 10% of this flying taxi, and another 55% people are using only on airport shuttle. And the intercity people use only 35%. So the business use case is more on the airport shuttle. This flying taxi will be heavily going to be successful. Imagine the day in our society, a rooftop. You just go to a terrace and you just board your flying taxi, and directly you are going to your airport, and directly you can board your flight. That's the day is going to come very soon. So people are ready to adapt UAM in day-to-day operations by 2030. So that's what, as I told you, by day-to-day, since you being a businessman or you are going to office day-to-day work, you can fly from your rooftop to rooftop from the flying taxi UAM on a day-to-day operations by 2030. So there is a technology myth about UAM transportation, about the flying car. Basically, if it's a flying car, I can fly the road, I can drive by road, I can fly suddenly if I want. No, it's not like that. So it has to be a proper vertical. There is a proper UTM has to be play a huge role on the regulations and policies. In this map, if you see, a normal building is almost 150 feet, and then above 150 feet for up to 400 feet, there is a low level airspace. That this space is completely used for drones, basically, for UAS, firefighting, all the small drones. And above that, there is a 100 feet buffer zone will be there. And above 500 feet, 600 feet to 6,500 feet is considered as a UAM corridor, where all the medical services, emergency rescue operations, all passenger drone, cargo drone can be utilized in the 600 feet to 6,500 feet. So that's considered as a UAM corridor. So we need to have proper UTM has to be in a place on this UAM corridor. And above, obviously, you guys everybody knows, above 6,500, 29,000 feet, it's completely commercial airspace to which cannot be disturbed on UAM. So feasibility of UAM mode of transportation, basically people city center, high density where downtown employment centers and surrounding neighborhoods is the ideal, location spot where we can fly from one place to one place, and medium density edge city and also suburban, you know so the promise of urban air mobility use case can be in the within the city of city center, suburban and edge city, and which can be decongest road traffic, improve mobility, reduce transport time, decrease pollution, and reduce strain, from the current existing public transport networks what we are facing currently. And yes, this also reduce a lot of casualties. So insights on different types of vertiport, there can be a different types of vertiport. It's going to become in the city, based on the availability of the space. If it is too congested area, it's going to be a micro vertiport, small vertiport, medium vertiport, and standard vertiport. Like how depends on the localities. Micro vertiport is something like a simple rooftop, or can be utilized in your lawn, like a single flying car can take off and land at a time. A small vertiport is something like multiple flying cars can come and land in that particular vertiport with multiple gates. It can be utilized in a small and medium space environment. And medium vertiport is something like basically people use for a airport shuttle. And standard vertiport, people might use multiple flying cars can come and land with multiple gates. It's basically utilized for a regional commuting, within the interstate, inter-district transportation. So vertiports should be ideally located at existing airports or train stations, bus terminals, metro station rooftops, and dryage. So you can see in the picture. There is the cargo terminal. Vertiport in the dryage area in the rooftop. You can come and land, and this can be converted a cargo hub in the city center. So from there, it has to be go to a distribution point. So when I'm talking about UAM, infrastructure development plays a key role in this complete UAM development. So the stages of UAM growth in the next 10 years in the AM industry. Currently, we are in 2023, and slowly you see the UAM growth. By 2025, you can see many competitors, including us. There are many companies working on this product development are aim to get certified on the by before 2025, and followed by the systems and the certification and the UAM corridor and the airspace ground space implementation can be happen in 2027 once the post certification of the product, and the vertiports can be integrated by 27 to 28, 29, and by 2030 the market is all set to ready for kickstart the movement of commuting on the public. So if you see, these are the companies, or top companies working on this current configuration of eVTOL, basically, which is a flying car. All these companies, if you see, are funded by billions and millions of money. You see most of the companies, everybody planning to in the design R&D stage, and the commercial operations, everyone go for certification, as I said before, by 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, all are aiming for go for certification in the upcoming years. So as I said before, the future is very exciting, and the way we commuting today is not the same in the future. So if you see why there is a billions and millions of money is invested in this segment is because the size of the market globally by 2040 is 1 trillion US dollar, whereas the SAM, serviceable obtainable market, is just 1%. Even if this all this company together we are serving the market, we can able to achieve 1% of the market by 2030. The market potential is very huge. The reports as by Morgan Stanley and Roland Butter report, which slightly in the internet. Everybody can access this report. So through this urban air mobility, these are the main key ecosystem to be benefited. Yes, biofuel, which is going to be improved 9%, and the battery technology, and which is going to be another 9% contribution. Infrastructure development is going to be changed, huge, which is 18%. And yes, obviously government taxes, which is straight away contributing at 28%, and direct and indirect employment opportunities, which is equally 18 to 18 percentage. You know, that going to be a complete ecosystem is going to be benefit of this through emerging urban urbanization. So UAM technology to invest in Asia Pacific, So number one, vehicle design. So people wants to getting, if you want to emerge this industry in a very successful way, we need to focus on these four areas. So first one is primary is vehicle design, which is complete eVTOL aircraft architecture, full-on tolerant autonomous flight control, aerodynamic and aeroelasticity, electric motor, and system integration. And the second, which is completely electrification, that is the future, which we need to look into it. New battery technology, and yes, more hybrid energy solutions, charging infrastructure, recycling. That's another important thing which we need to consider, and structure embedded batteries and safety of the battery and also affordability. That is another major thing which we need to look into it. And the third point is new material structure and manufacturing. If you look, new materials which need to be, innovated, lightweight structure and new coating, sensors, embedded sensors, a new manufacturing process. That's very important. And by the help of Industry 5.0, smart factory designed for manufacturing industry. And yes, so another new area of growth is vertiport and infrastructure. So we need to derive the flying zone. As I presented, there is above 600 feet to 6,000 feet. So we need to derive a flying zone, and city commuting to suburb commuting, and commuting with how government operators, can able to use like defense and air force and other rescue operations, which can going to be play a huge key role that we need to derive. And hassle-free locations on the vertiport, as people say it, less than 10 minutes, I want to commute to a vertiport. I don't want to beyond travel more than 10 minutes. So that hassle-free locations of various V vertiports, which need to be designed, and yes, test flight free air zone that need to be derived, which cannot be disturbed on the current commercial aircraft, free zone. So various integrations this vertiport can be integrated, as I told you, in the metro stations, existing airports, all the hospitals, rooftops can be integrated the vertiport V-ports basically. So followed by all the SOPs and policies, and firefighting has to be in place. So thank you. Any questions? Please let me know.